Hi, in this video, we'll be learning about web tracking. Web tracking refers to the collection and sharing of information about an individual's activity on the internet. It is essentially how companies are able to find out more information about you so that they can find ways to sell you their products. So, who uses web tracking? And the answer is pretty much everybody. Almost every website and app is collecting information about its users. Some examples include the biggest tech companies like Google and Meta and Amazon and Microsoft, but there are also these third-party companies called data brokers that also get their hands on user information. Data brokers essentially collect the personal data of users from various sources, process the data, and then sell it to individuals or companies. Users might not even know who these companies are that are collecting and selling their data. Some of the largest data brokers in the US are Axiom LLC, Epsilon Data Management LLC, and Equifax Information Services LLC. Do any of these companies sound familiar to you? So, how are all of these companies collecting user information? And the reality is that there are many ways to do it, but the most popular methods are by using cookies, browser fingerprinting, and embedded scripts like pixel trackers. Let's define these different methods. Cookies are the most well-known type of web tracking. A cookie is a small piece of code or data that gets stored in your browser when you visit a website that is using them. Once these small pieces of code are stored in your browser, they can follow you around and keep track of what you're doing online. First-party cookies are created by the site you are visiting and help that site remember things you like and what you're doing when browsing on their site. In general, first-party cookies can enhance your experience while using a website. For example, they can help remember your login information or items you have stored in a cart so you can check out easier when you return later. On the other hand, we have third-party cookies. Third-party cookies are also small pieces of code that get stored in your browser, but these are created by websites you haven't even visited. These cookies are the ones that track you across the internet as you browse from one website to another. Browser fingerprinting is the process of websites retrieving information about your device and then making a unique profile or ID for you so that the companies know who you are while you are on the internet. They collect information like what type of computer or phone you're using, what operating system, and what version it's on. And they can also collect system preferences like what your language is set to. Once companies have this information and create these profiles, it's much easier for them to keep track of their users. Lastly, pixel trackers are embedded scripts that generate clear images by using HTML. These pixel trackers are found in emails or on websites and are also used to track where you are clicking and what you are looking at when browsing the internet. Since these trackers are really tiny and oftentimes clear, users have no idea when they're being used. So at this time, you might be wondering, why are users tracked? And the answer to that really depends on the company. Companies want to learn as much as they can about you so that they can keep you on their site or keep you as a customer. Websites like Netflix and YouTube use user data to suggest content that they think that they like based on their recent search or watch history. Similarly, Facebook and Twitter show people posts and profiles that are similar to the posts and users that they interact with the most. Then there are e-commerce sites. E-commerce sites will often save your items in your cart so that it can be easy for you to buy their product the next time you visit. E-commerce sites also keep track of what you search and what you look at so that they can suggest similar items in the future. One of the biggest reasons for web tracking is so that companies can feed their users ads. Companies want to know what you are in the market for so that they can show you what they have to offer. You'll see these ads everywhere, including videos, websites, and you can even find them in your email's inbox. Another big reason why companies track users is so that they can sell the information they gather about the user to other companies. This is the whole business model for data brokers, and companies will pay a lot of money for your data. Let's now look at some examples of ways to mitigate being tracked. One thing we can do is change our settings in our browser so that they combat tracking for us. Most mainstream browsers already offer a few basic protections against web tracking. Firefox and Safari block third-party cookies by default, and you can set Chrome and Edge to do so as well. In your browser settings, you'll also be able to configure your browser to send a do not track request whenever you visit a website. And there are also browsers like Firefox and Brave that already come with security and privacy features embedded inside of them. Browsing in incognito mode is also a way to prevent tracking. Incognito mode makes it so that your browser isn't saving any of the history of the websites that you visit on the browser. This helps in case there is a tracker placed on your browser and is looking at your recent history. Clearing your cookies in your browser is also a way to prevent further tracking. You can find the Clear Cookies option within your browser settings. Other forms of prevention include rejecting cookies whenever you visit a website, and although this takes a few seconds, it's totally worth it. You can also enable a do not track setting that's on your phone, which helps prevent apps from tracking you as well as when you browse the internet on your phone. And then when you're shopping online, you can check out as a guest instead of creating an account. Using these methods, and the ones we'll learn about more in this lesson, will help keep your information more secure.